Anyway, we've got a gentleman that's originally from South Africa that lives around the Florence, Alabama area, but he does work in Zimbabwe. Uh, he doesn't really know me, but he used to preach where my father-in-law was an elder, and my brother-in-law ended up taking his position. I think is that right? Not in a bad way, okay? When he started in the mission work, but anyway, Dorian Flynn going to tell us about an exciting work. Here's one reason I wanted to for you to hear him. Uh, my brother-in-law went with him one time to Zimbabwe, and it was such a wonderful experience that whenever he would try to talk about it, he would just break down in tears because he was just moved by the faith of the people and some part of it, the poverty of the people. And then my nephew went, and they just so excited about the work. So I wanted us to hear about an exciting work, and so I'm not going to take any more of your time. Just take off.
I am thankful for the invitation to come and be with you all. Uh, Let me just say, I have a fondness for Kentucky. Um, when I graduated from Harding University, the first congregation I preached for was the Bluff Springs Church of Christ on the Greenville Road outside of Hopkinsville. And in fact, we have 4 congregations in the Hopkinsville area that help us. Also, the Glasgow Church of Christ, in Glasgow, South Green Street helps us. Bart is a good friend of mine, Bart Warren. But I was born in Cape Town, South Africa. I grew up in Zimbabwe, and my father served as an elder with 2 American missionaries, and they influenced my father to send me to Harding. I met a lovely Southern belle from Alabama, and she's not with me today because she has shingles and she's in a lot of pain right now. So her name is Sherry, and if we appreciate your prayers. But I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'd just like to spend this first session telling you about what we're doing. We're 13 years into this work, and it's broken into different areas. We looked at the life of Christ. We saw that the life of Christ was made up of good works and good news, and that's what we are doing. And so one of the things that we do in Southern Africa, and let me just say this, we are based in Zimbabwe, but we work in 9 countries in Southern Africa. We work with a population of the potential of about 280 million people. And so being born and raised there, this is kind of our sweet spot, and so we enjoying there. But we have Shine. Shine stands for spiritually helping in nurturing and equipping. And that's where we plant new congregations. We have the evangelistic outreach through a number of methods as well. World Bible School, we have over 15,000 students there. And what we do at World Bible School is we have offices there. We do all the grading. Most of our students are high school students. And what that does, it gives us an opportunity to get into the high schools. Do you know that we ship textbooks over there, and when we give the textbooks to high schools, they just let us in, and we can then do Bible classes with them. And so many of them, the principals give us the opportunity to advertise World Bible School, and they become our students. And so we are thankful for that. But do want you also to know that we plan gospel meetings, we take campaigns. I looked at your website. I saw that you visited Jamaica. We lived in Jamaica, in the Caribbean many years ago. Been to Jamaica many times, and I appreciate what you do. And so campaigns are a big part of us. What we have going right now because of COVID, we had over 300 home Bible studies going every week, but now we have about 156 because of COVID. But still, it's tremendous because up to this point right now, we've had 502 to obey the gospel. And in 13 years, we've been able to establish 89 new congregations in Southern Africa. And so we are filled with joy for the receptive area that we are in. Of course, it's special to me because I grew up there, and so we are thankful for that. The Amazon is one of the congregations that we planted about 3 years ago, and they've gone from zero, as it were, to about 150 in attendance. And this is the baptistry we built out there. I like this picture because this man that is doing the baptizing is a second generation Christian, and that's his little baby boy or son looking up at his father baptizing. And I thought, boy, keep the tradition going, you know. um, this is some other baptisms that happened. This happened probably about 6 weeks ago at Kariba Dam between Zimbabwe and Zambia. And we work in Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, Lesotho, Swaziland, um, northern South Africa, Venda. So we are in an enormous area making a difference. And this is some that were baptized in northern South Africa just recently as well. And of course, that never gets old, you know, never. Um, because of all our baptisms, we need Bibles. And so I'm just going to throw out one request and to you all today. We have people that are baptized that are older in rural areas, and they just speak their native languages. Most of the young people in Southern Africa speak English because the majority of the schools, especially if they were ex-British colonies, may have maintained teaching in English. So when the kids come to school, they learn in English. So we've got plenty of English Bibles for them, but we have older people that need that they need Bibles in their languages, and sometimes the village children as well. So if you can help in any way, we would appreciate that immensely. And let me just say something about the Bible. It's a hardcover, and when the Bible is given to a new convert, that most of those homes, 90% of those homes, don't have Bibles in them. It's not like us. And I want you to know those Bibles become the family Bible in the sense that they celebrate that they have a Bible in their home. That is very special to them. And they have moments, get this, wish we would go back to it. They have times during the week that they will get together and open up the Bible as a family, and they will read it because they're so excited about having it. This is some of the new converts in northern South Africa, some young people, and so happy to have their Bibles. And this happened about 6 months ago, these new converts. And the guy in the blue overalls is a young minister. Him and his wife do a tremendous work in northern South Africa. His name is Devilius Malambi, and he works with the youth in that area. So our goal and our thrust is to reach as many people as possible and to teach as many people as possible. You know, we have campaigns, people from the States that come there. We have local campaigns, and then we have leadership seminars, because when you have all these new converts, so now what happens? See, it's one thing to say you have so many baptisms, it's another thing to say what's are they staying faithful? And that is critical. And so we do leadership seminars every other week. That's besides them being connected and added to the body of Christ and then connected to a specific church. All our new converts are immediately connected to a church, to one of the good works that I'm going to talk about that we do, and to a group in their community where they can do a home Bible study, so that they are connected on 3 different levels. And our retention rate right now is about 79%. And we feel so good about that. One of the good works we do, remembering it's not the end game, living water is the end game, but because water is so desperately needed in Africa, is the drilling of wells. And so our goal was, if we could do 50 wells in 10 years, wouldn't that be awesome? Well, we're 13 years down the road, and we've done 102 wells. And so every single day, over 250,000 people come and get clean water. You know what the average life expectancy in rural Africa is? Those people that don't drink clean water, it's early 30s. We just getting started here in the United States, early 30s. People are, that's their life expectancy because of all the waterborne diseases. But body can't handle it. But when we go drill a well, we provide them clean water, and they can go grow vegetables. So this lady right here, this was our 100th well. Now, she didn't know it was our 100th well, but what she's smiling about is because her day and her daughter's day was taken most of the day to go get water. They had to walk 4 miles to a dry riverbed and go get water. Sometimes during the dry season, dig till they find the water and then walk back and maybe do that once or maybe twice. That was it. Daughter couldn't go to school because daughter, as many African girls, they don't go to school because they have to go get water every day. So they miss out on their education. And what chance does a young girl in Africa have if she can't get an education, let alone anywhere else in the world? So she's happy because we drilled a well. Her daughter can go back to school, and she only has to walk 100 meters to go get water. No, she doesn't have indoor plumbing, but she is so happy. So happy. Um, this is one of the wells that we drilled at a congregation. And let me just say this, when we drill in our wells, it's not done randomly. There is a purpose behind it. Every well we drill is either at a congregation or where we are about to begin a new congregation. Only those two, because it's a tool. It gives fresh water, but it's a tool to meet people and to share Jesus Christ. And if they're coming to where our building is to come get water every day, that gives us tremendous opportunity, especially when we go to them and say, why don't you grow some vegetables with us on the property? So many souls have been won that way, and we are thankful for that. This is a high school that had no water, a high school, primary school together. Can you imagine your kids going to school and having nothing to drink from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon? We wouldn't allow that. In fact, the school would be closed. But this is what this school was until we brought a well. You know what happens when you do a well? All kinds of opportunities come. So now we've got Bible classes going in there. We've already begun a new congregation there at the school because of that water that we have brought to them. I just wanted you to see the bucket of water being filled and the hand pumps. It's $6,000 to do a well, but we have drilled 102 wells, if you've seen. And do you know that every one of our wells over the period of 13 years is still pumping? And that well that you see there, as all the other of our wells, anybody in the community can come use it as long as it's not abused. Not all NGOs, which is non-government organizations, which is non-profit organizations, allow just anybody, but we do. And then they start asking questions. Who are you? What are you about? And those are the questions we want, you know. We want them to ask those questions because that's an entry point into sharing Jesus with them. Benefits for church and family and community is, of course, as I mentioned, clean water. They get organic vegetables. And you talk about increasing life expectancy. Just bring clean water and let them grow clean organic vegetables, you know. This time of year in the United States, I mean, I just love it because there's two things that I love tomatoes. Okay. We call them tomatoes. In Alabama, it's maters. I don't know, you know, it is different, you know. But I love this time of year because in the winter, you go to the grocery store, they look good, but oh no, man. But you know, you grow your own. And what's so wonderful about Southern Africa, it's 9 months summer, 3 months winter. And the 3 months of winter is like our early spring here. So you can grow all year round. And so if you've got water pumping, man, you could feed a lot of people and many that have starved in years gone by. So anyway, one of the things that we are doing is we're planting an olive grove. An orchard that is mandarin oranges and mangoes. And I'll get back to the point of that. But we try to grow as many different things as possible that we can. You thought you knew a cabbage. No, this is a cabbage. In fact, this is two elders in the church that we have a congregation, and drilled a well, and so we've got these cabbages growing there, and we give to the community. We also sell some as well. But they were so tickled about the crop. We're growing in areas where they've had no water, so the soil is still very rich because they haven't grown there before, And so now that we have a well, all those nutrients are still there. So we're thankful for that. Let me just back up. So just to let you know something, I want you just to remember the orchard and remember the agriculture there. And this is our cattle eating some of our refuse from the cabbage. We have cattle. We started with 10 head. Right now, we're at about 190 head in 5 years. We want to get to about 500 head of cattle. So here is the ACT project. We have the well project is called the DAD. We call it the DAD project, which is drilling and drip irrigation. And then we have the ACT project, which is Africa Container Transport. And we have a website you can go to and look at this. But we ship clothes, we ship textbooks, we ship biblical material, Bibles in 40-foot containers. And we have shipped 46 so far. And we are thankful to Walmart for all the banana boxes they've given us. It's well over 55,000 they've given to us. I had a guy tell me outside of Atlanta. At that time, he's retired now, but he was over about 4 different Walmarts, and I don't know what his title was. And he said, "Dorian, you know what our number one seller is every day?" And I said, "No." He said, "Bananas." I said, "Well, I'm sure that's right, because every time I go get banana boxes, man. They always got empty ones." But what I'm trying to tell you is that is a one container that has 40. It has 1,300 banana boxes of clothes and men's, women's, boys, girls, and it goes to 15 congregations in their communities. And you think of the good that is done, So we are thankful for that. And if any of you, if the congregation is doing a spring cleaning sometime and you want to collect some clothes and that and put them in banana boxes, we'll be glad to come your way and get them. Shoes as well. This is our latest container. They just arrived in Lesotho. Lesotho is called the Mountain Kingdom. It is high up in the mountains. If you went there right now, you'd see snow on the mountains because it's their winter right now. And winter's, of course, opposite. And so this container arrived. This is the Abia Church of Christ building. And so they've unloaded the container. And you know what's so amazing is that there's 1,300 boxes been unloaded, because when the container arrives, you only got 2 hours to unload it, if you haven't bought the container, because then otherwise they start charging you. So it's unloaded. I want you to know that they delivered it in 10 days. Their transport was going 24/7, and they delivered it to 11 churches. Impressive? Well, here's their transport. And I'm telling you, they had a couple of guys walk behind. It's a mountain kingdom, so they had grades to go up, and they said they were not going to lose one box. And they didn't. It was so precious to them. Somebody said to me, "Dorian, over 55,000 boxes. What do you do with those empty boxes?" Don't do anything with them, because most of them goes to rural areas. People live in mud huts. They have no chest of drawers, and they ask us, "Can we keep the banana box?" So there's Dole banana boxes everywhere, all through Southern Africa. Those ladies so happy. We got up on top of one of those mountains, and there's a village there where we had just planted a brand new congregation, and man, those ladies were so happy. what we were doing. Just tickled to death. There is a congregation in Sheffield, Alabama that has ceased to exist, and I'm sorry. But they didn't want to just sell the building. So they approached us, Partners for Africa, and they said, would you be willing to take our building and use it? Because they knew we collected clothes and all kinds of things, medical equipment, all that, and use it as a facility to help in your missions. We would love to see that happen. And so we've taken over the building. So the auditorium had all these pews. So we have slowly, every container we send, we'll put a couple of pews on it, for a church somewhere in Africa. Well, the 4 pews came to the Abia Church of Christ. And the preacher, Brother Dauncey, said to me, he says, Dorian, I instructed the congregation that only, this is the word he used, only the elderly could sit on the pews. Because I told him, I said, I can't use that word in the States because there's no elderly. You don't say that. But I said, if it happened in the States, I'd say all of you that have AARP cards, you can sit on the pew, This is Mars Hill Bible School, is Church of Christ High School that has been in Florence, Alabama for a long, long time. My wife went there. And they gave us desks and chairs because we are, amongst all the works that we're doing, planting churches, and we are in the midst, well, we've opened it already, but we haven't completed the construction of a Christian high school. So they sent us chairs. And so my wife and I are blessed with 3 children. And those are 2 of our oldest right there, my son Lee and my daughter Laura, and they both work with us and help us in different ways, and we appreciate it very much. But they are holding up Jackson Christian High School, is a Church of Christ high school in Jackson, Tennessee. And so they've become our 2 sister schools. And so they donated uniforms, and Mars Hill donated desks and chairs to our high school. This is one of our preschools in Bulawayo. And if you came with us, we'd want you to come and do maybe do a VBS with those kids one day or so. We try to do a variety of things, but they are so cute. And what has happened is the more preschools we can open, the more families we are winning to Jesus Christ. I mean, it's wide open because the lack of resources. And if you can develop resources, then you develop opportunities. And so we're glad for that. This is our high school, Amazon Christian Academy. It's set to open January 2022. Now, I told you it was already opened. It is, but because of COVID, there's been COVID restrictions. So they are slowly opening up the schools now. But we decided that we are going to wait because what we're doing is we're going to do a grade a year. So they're opening up the older grades. So we're going to wait till the first of the year and we will open our school. And we're going to do 1 grade a year. And our goal, the school is built, the planning, to have 1,200 students. 600 of them will be day scholars, and 600 will be boarders from other parts of Africa. Our next stage after that, which will be in 5 years, we want these freshmen. And let me just tell you that this high school is in an area of Zimbabwe that they have never had a high school. There's no government high school. There's no high school period. There's only primary schools. So we are going to get all these students coming to our high school. I mean, it's a Christian high school. We're going to share Jesus Christ every day with them. We're going to have them through their high school years, but then we're going to build a Christian university like Harding or Freed Hardman. It'll be the only one of the churches of Christ, probably in Africa, a liberal arts university. And so we could have these children for what, 8 years, 10 years? We are going to teach them how to plant new congregations. I mean, some of them end up being lawyers and doctors and truck drivers and farmers and teachers and whatever, but wherever they go, they are going to know what God's will is in evangelizing this world. And that's going to be a tremendous tool. So here is our freshman classroom wing. It has two classrooms. This is the desks and chairs from Florence, Alabama. And I told people, I said, my children sat on those desks and chairs years ago, and they've done really well. So they intelligent furniture, it's intelligent. So we are glad for that. Um, my grandson on the right and my grandson on the extreme left, the one on the left thought he was real cool with shades. And so, but they gave textbooks for the school and they did a drive. And so thankful for that. The reason I wanted to show you these are our students. Um, the, the, the ones in the blue in the sports uniforms. The top is Jackson Christian and the pants are Mars Hill. They're the same color. One's from Tennessee, one's from Alabama. So they asked me when we were planning the school, they said, Dorian, this is the board. What are the colors going to be? I said, colors already decided, whatever Jackson. So it's blue and white. I just wanted to show you all our faculty are living on the campus already. So what is special about this, all our board, except for me and my wife, are all Zimbabweans. And all our teachers are Zimbabweans. So we are trying to be as indigenous as we possibly can, okay? So this is one of the faculty houses. In fact, it really two families live here. It's really a duplex. But what I wanted to show you was the dish. Years ago, who would have thought? In fact, this is what the principal said to me, Brother Flynn, I never thought years ago that the whole world would come to the African bush, So, I mean, it's just tremendous, the technology of today. So our students will be up to date on everything because we can tap into everything. This is our faculty, and I won't go through telling you who they are. It's not a great picture, but you got to remember these people have cameras, if they're lucky, and they're not great cameras. And so, we've got to give, but all our faculty are, what makes them special is that they are young. That's our principal on the right. He is, and his wife, she's an IT specialist, and he has finished his master's and about to work on his doctorate, and they're in their 30s. So we've got if the Lord tarries, we have a long runway with all our faculty being there together, and that makes a big difference. And here's a few of the children that we will be educating at ACA. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is the congregation that we planted on the campus. And that's their building, by the way. And they built it, and they're real proud of it. They're real proud of it. But if you look real close, you might be able to figure out what they're holding. So when I grew up in Africa, we did have peanut butter. At least I thought it was peanut butter. I mean, it was peanut butter. But when I came to the States and I ate extra crunch Jif peanut butter, whoa. It was like my taste buds went to a whole nother level. And so we shipped on that one of our containers. Somebody donated, they'd heard me tell the story, so they donated all this peanut butter and we gave it to them. And this was in June, and it was Merry Christmas in June because they just loved it. They loved it. Of course, it's a great source of food too, protein and that. One of the things that we did was to build a clinic. In parts of Southern Africa, they have no medical. In this particular area where we built our high school, there was no medical whatsoever. I mean, the closest was 10 miles away. They have no transport. And I am telling, the elderly and children would die every year trying to walk to go get help. And so we built this clinic in 2017, and it's a free clinic. And we just had our 221st baby born. And we help with all kinds of things. We've saved several from poison snake bites, car wrecks, broken bones. I mean, it's just tremendous, those nurses. And it's my wife there in the center there, by the way, in the red slacks. That's Sherry. And I maybe sometime in the future you'll get to meet her. But we are thankful for these Christian ladies that do all of this, That's them doing inoculations. Polio, I mean, you think of all the vaccines we have here. Those kids never had it. They died prematurely. But now we've been able to do all that. And this clinic, even though they don't have the vaccine yet, they're supposed to have it within the next 6 weeks. We were told the vaccine for rural people, as far as COVID's concerned. You should see how those nurses have taken care of those sick COVID patients. Unbelievable, just wonderful. So I want to stop you for a minute just to say something. Remember, I brought up about agriculture, and I brought up about cattle, and I brought up about the orchard. My wife and I decided when we started Partners for Africa that there was no way we were going to build something like a school or clinic and it be financed by the United States, by brethren, by churches here. I mean, we've raised money to build it, and we're still raising money to build the facilities. But the long term, day to day, if the Lord tarries, the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it has to be supported by income streams there. So, agriculture, you saw the cabbage. But I do want you to know that right now we are harvesting tomatoes, and we have 18,000 tomato plants that we are harvesting. And we just finished 6 months ago harvesting 25,000 tomato plants. And those tomato plants by themselves has financed that free clinic for the last 3 years. So we grow cabbage, which also helps finance. We have corn, carrots, all that sort of thing. The other income stream is cattle. When we get to 400 head of cattle, we will be able to tap into 60,000 US a year without diminishing our herd, and it'll go straight to the school. Right now, we set 8 years that the facilities that we have are going to be fully financed there. And we have 3 years behind us. We've got 5 years left, and we are ahead of the game. So I just want you to know it is extremely important to us that we be a self-propagating ministry in Africa. I grew up in Africa, and there were some wonderful missionaries that came. Good people. But for most of them, when they left, things just died because all their finances came from the States for the whole time they were there. And when they left, guess what happened? Can't happen. Not with me growing up in Africa and seeing. No. So that's what we're doing right now. And that's why we have the orchards. That's why we started that. We are also going to begin fish farming. And then also, fifthly, a solar farm. How big is our school? The government is so excited. They've given us 100 acres. And they said, when you add a grade, we'll add acreage. Because I'm coming for them, because I want serious acreage for that university. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had about 500 acres there for our the churches of Christ in Southern Africa, for our education, and for what? Be tremendous. So let me just say this, finishing up, and is this past year COVID hit, and what was so bad about Southern Africa is Zimbabwe especially, they had the worst drought in 30 years. And you know that we kept alive about 650 Christian families. So they have the lockdown, and you've got all these Christian families in rural areas. I don't know how, I know that there was a loss of about 50,000 head of cattle in our area. Now, we didn't lose any because we've got our own water. That makes a difference. That's why our tomatoes do so well, because we grow them off season. When the rainy season's over, we grow our tomatoes because we got wells, we pump, But how do you help all these Christians? We're getting, we're getting calls from them, phone calls. Please help us. We're starving. We are out of food. Because of our good works, the government has watched us We bring in containers. We don't resell. We give everything away. They see the wells that we've drilled. Anybody can use them. They see the clothes we give away. Nothing is sold. All of this sort of. So we went to the military and we went to the police and we said, please, can we get special permission to deliver food into these areas, even though there's a COVID lockdown? And we got permission. We were one of 3 groups that got permission. And it was tremendous. We were followed by the military and police, which I guess was a good thing anyway. But I'm telling you, we kept over 650 Christian families alive during that period. And it's because of the generosity of congregations, just like you all, that helped us. And here is a widow lady that received food. That's a minister, Mto Sabanda. Those are children that are being fed. And I do want you to know that we have a feeding program. We feed a little over 2,000 children a week. Most of them are special needs, AIDS orphans. And when we feed them physical food and we feed them spiritual food. And over the last 13 years, we have had a little over 560 odd that have obeyed the gospel. And we are thankful for that. This is Martha. She made masks. Martha is the lady who is the IT teacher at our high school. She made masks for children that they feed in that area. And that's so cute because, that's how they carry things on their head. Just, I put things on my head because it looks so easy. It's kind of like professional sports. You see a guy do something, you go, oh, that can't be hard. Oh, try it. They walk a mile, 2-3 miles with a bag, 22 pounds on their head, and I'll walk 3 or 4 steps and I have to grab it, So just wanted you to see some of their pictures. And then this was a congregation that we helped feed. This is the last slide. I just want you to know those bags there are 10 kg, which is 22.2 pounds. That feeds a family of 4. A family of 4. It feeds them for about 3 weeks. And so 2 meals a day. And so that's a lot of food that feeds a lot of people. And so we were able to do that. So thank you so much for the opportunity you've given me today to speak to you all. And I always consider it a tremendous, tremendous privilege to be able to speak to God's family. Let's just have a prayer, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, which represents something so special to us. This is victory. This is where we focus on the resurrection of your Son. And we are thankful for that power, that your love extended to us. And we are so thankful that because of that, we are your children. In Jesus' name, amen.